Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. Hope you're having a great time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're loving it, because I need all the support I can get right now. I'm making one video a day. So that means I need to spend all my time to shoot for you guys, which means I don't have much time to do any other jobs except for this one. So if you like the channel and you wish to support it, please do subscribe. Thank you very much. Now, moving on to the topic of the day. A lot of you have been asking me about Chanel Jumbos made in France as opposed to made in Italy, because you know my policy on this. I mean, I'm not purchasing new goods for the year 2017, but I'm not saying you guys shouldn't or can't, to each his own. If you, despite all the odds, still wish to purchase new Chanel bags and you have been saving up all those years for that Chanel Jumbo because you love that Jumbo, then you end up writing me, and a lot of you do end up writing me. There's something flying here. A lot of you do end up writing me that, you know, whenever you go to a Chanel boutique, all the Jumbos you see are made in Italy. And a lot of you are asking me, are there any Jumbos made in France at all? The answer is yes, there are. There are Jumbos made in France. And I just so happen to have one here. Now, this, of course, is a seasonal bag. This is a denim Jumbo, and it's all embroidered in perfume bottles, so it's a very particular type of Jumbo. I can show it to you. I can link the review in the description box down below. But anyway, this is just to show you. First and foremost, I'm really not a big fan of Jumbos. I purchased this one because I love the perfume bottles, and that's something rare. I've never seen. I mean, I've seen Chanel do something similar, but never in this shape or form to this perfection, pushing it so far, and in denim on top of that. And I was really lucky because being this a seasonal bag, it's going to be produced once and that's it. But the batch was produced in France, so there were no perfume bottle embroidered denim Chanel bags made in Italy. However, for those of you who are hunting down the classic, you know, the timeless classic Chanel Jumbos, just like this one, but in caviar leather or in lambskin leather, and you wish to purchase it made in France, don't lose all hope. From time to time, they do make them in France. But why are most of the Jumbos produced in Italy? And this is what this video is about. Well, because of you guys. And again, you know, I'm going to link all these videos that are related to this topic in the description box down below. So please be sure to check it out and scroll through, because I'm like posting all the videos that are related to this topic to reference them. I have said this before, you know, in a way I said that online shopping is kind of killing fashion in a way. Online shopping, not of everything, mostly the mono brands like Louis Vuitton, Yves Saint Laurent, when you purchase off of their own websites. There are reasons to that. You can check that on the video. But because the Chanel Timeless Classics and also the reissues are in a very high price class already, and because Chanel, you know, from size to size, as you're upping it from the small one to the medium, you know, Jumbo and Maxi, the variation, the difference in price is minimal, which means once you've collected enough money, you have already enough money to choose from the 4 or 5, or depending how many sizes they have at the moment you're purchasing. And that's why most people tend to get the Jumbo as opposed to, let's say, the small or the medium. The first Timeless Classic bag I purchased was a small, and I would do it all over again. And I know to a lot of people, it's like, but it's so small for that amount of money, so for just like a couple hundred more, I can get the Jumbo. That's the wrong way of thinking, I think. I have my issues with the Jumbo. I can't really wear it crossbody. The chains are too long, so I end up wearing it with a double chain all the time. And I'm tall. I mean, I could be taller, but, you know, I mean, girls that buy this bag, they're much smaller than me, and then the bag just hangs off the hip down to the knee almost, you know. But anyway, the reason is us. We are the reason why most of the Jumbos are made in Italy. Why? Because there's such a rush to get them. So many people want them that France can't produce them. So they have to source out production, which means that they, you know, send off a lot of the product quotas that have to be reached to Italy, and Italy then does that. If you want to buy the Timeless Classic small, each and every single one of them are made in France because they don't have to produce so many. It's as easy as that. You see what I mean? So too much production, overproduction, means beginning to source stuff out. And that means we're beginning to lack in quality. We're beginning, we're pressuring people to produce quicker and quicker. And so this means that the Jumbo, which is an overly produced bag, is made in Italy. And I hope they don't start producing them in Spain as well, as they do with small leather goods. But it might come to that if they don't, shorten their production some way artificially or just like force it. Because, they're opening new boutiques every year. How can they... I don't know what they're thinking, but it ain't going in the right direction. Now, if you do want a Jumbo made in France, there are periods of the year that I've noticed doing my research within Chanel boutiques. There are periods of the year where you do have a chance at finding this holy grail of a made in France Jumbo. And that is usually shortly before the holiday season. That's when they up their production, justly so, because they want to sell more before the holidays or for the holidays. So usually when I have encountered Jumbos made in France was November, around November. If you're lucky, end of October already. But usually it's like November to late November, and then they're gone. That's the only time I have ever seen a Jumbo made in France. I know some other people on YouTube that review their bags that have made reviews of the Jumbos. Now I'm talking, timeless classic in leather, either caviar or lambskin. I'm not talking about these seasonal ones because this was it was a pre-spring summer 16 Jumbo. So this one was available in summer. But we're talking about the leather ones now because most of you want to hunt those down. So that's your best bet. And of course, be nice to your essays. Have a good relationship with them. And then you could also ask them for special favors because it's not that easy. They try to tell you they don't get a lot of Jumbos. Instead, they get a lot of Jumbos. They get a lot of bags, a lot of timeless classics in the boutiques. Not every essay wants to go through all the trouble to open each and every freaking bag to see where they're made in. Now, I know that the boxes the bags come in already have a sticker on them that states where the bag was made, but you got to double check. You know what I mean? Because somebody might take out the bag, show it to a customer. Two essays at the same time take out two bags, and then when they bring them back, one brings back the bag before the other one, and they place them in the wrong box. So you still have to be sure, open the box and see inside the bag where it's made. And if you got 20, 30 bags, not everybody wants to do that. So be nice to your essays because otherwise your essay is just going to be, I know they're all made in Italy. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to go downstairs and check at the cellar or whatever. You know what I mean? That's where the 10 tips of what to say and do or what not to say and do in a luxury boutique come in handy. So yeah, that's your best bet. Try it prior to the holiday season. Also, you may always be lucky. Usually the first made in France Jumbos get sold in Europe. Other continents rarely receive them, but they do receive them. Don't lose hope and keep checking. If you don't have a relationship with your essay, keep going to the Chanel boutique from time to time. If you live close to one, of course. And just ask to see a Jumbo, and as you see it, you open it, well, made in Italy, okay, close the flap, thanks. Come 3 weeks later, ask for a Jumbo. If they have it, you open it, oh, made in Italy, okay. And then, one day you're going to hit the jackpot, we're going to open the bag that's going to say made in France. However, not every bag is flawless. Even made in France can have its flaws. So be sure to always check and inspect your bag thoroughly when in the boutique. You can also check how to buy a Chanel bag properly. Video made by me some time ago. Also in the description box down below. So guys, enjoy your Jumbos. I definitely am enjoying mine. It has little feathers on it because I was wearing a feather jacket yesterday with the bag. I got little tiny miniature feathers on it, which I have to take off. I'm enjoying mine a lot. However, not crossbody. It's a huge bag, and it's a very heavy bag, especially if you get the leather ones because they have a double flap. The chain is super heavy. The double flaps are super heavy. It's a tank of a bag. So just think about that when you're purchasing it. To me, it's not the best choice, size of bag. As I said before, this one, I had to have it because with this stitching and with the bottles, I just wanted as many bottles as possible. And it's a single flap, and it's in denim. It's not in leather, so it's very light. But it's still very structured. But the single flap is like old school Chanel, Well, not really old school. They used to be single, then they used to be double, then single, then double flap again. So this is kind of like 80s, 90s Chanel with a single flap. They did that, I think, because of the structure of the bag. They didn't want to make it too complicated. It was already super complicated to align all of the stitching of the bottles, because this is not just matelassé. It's not just like squares, you know, matching up from the flap to the bottom or the pockets. This is totally different bottle patterns that have to match up, which is a lot of work. And they did a great job at it. And in fact, the great job was done in France. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So don't forget the tips I gave you, and don't forget to never give up on love. Love you guys. See you soon. Take care. Bye.